Have a successful mindset, a positive outlook, believe in yourself. We hear these phrases all the time when it comes to writing. I'm going to break down the meaning behind these phrases and why they're important to remember when you're writing something as complex as your first fantasy novel. Key to success when it comes to writing. Finish the project that you're dreaming of. You can take in all the different writing advice pieces that you want, but if you don't change your mindset, they're not actually going to stick. They're not going to help you finish your novel, but you won't feel as proud of it as you should be, or you will feel like there's something still missing. You won't feel fulfilled. Just something will be off if you have the wrong mindset going into it. Our author's new, so please, if you are an author who is in the habit of saying, I'll never be able to finish my novel, or my writing isn't very good, or fantasy is too daunting of a genre for me to ever conquer, I encourage you to try to track and interrupt that thought process. Try turning it into, I believe I will finish this novel, I am capable of finishing this novel, my writing is good, and I can write a great fantasy novel. Try saying them out loud and seeing if you believe them, because if you say them enough over time, you will start to believe them. It especially applies when you're talking about your writing to others, not just to yourself. Deprecate when it comes to art and shrink further into ourselves and just, some people would call it appearing humble, but I think it's just a insecurity about our writing, which is totally natural. It's like the shame that artists are all made to feel. It's good, especially when you're talking to other people, like I said. Boast or look down on other people's work, but you should be proud of your own work. And being proud of your own work and other people's work, they don't have to be mutually exclusive things. If you about your own writing when you're talking to other people about it, they will be more inclined to believe you and actually appreciate your work when you share it with them, because I know personally whenever I meet a self-deprecating writer, I can tell that maybe they're a little bit more behind on their writing journey than I am. They're just in a different state, and I don't really vibe with them, myself from them and their work, until they've found the tools to be confident and proud of their own work. That's how much it hurts you, is people are often very uncomfortable when you're self-deprecating about your own art. So even though it's instinct for you to downplay your own work when you're talking about it to other people, I encourage you to say that you're proud of it, to say that your writing is good, even if you don't believe it, because those people won't know that. And it is going to start to stick, and especially if you stop saying the opposite, that you don't believe your writing is good. Are you ever going to get people to read your work if you're telling them up front that it's not good, Imagine if you were being offered a book to read and someone told you, oh, but it's not very good, it's my first, I know it has a lot of problems. That's not very confidence inspiring, is it? It drives me crazy. Stop calling yourself an aspiring writer. If you write, you are a writer. It is that simple. Someone else, which is extremely hard to do. So kudos if you have the confidence and the space within you to do that, because it is not easy to bare your art to someone else. It's like bearing your soul. A close friend, a colleague, your partner, someone else in the writing space. Don't apologize for the flaws in the manuscript before they've even had a chance to read it. Writers, we spend so much time with our manuscripts, engrossed in our worlds, that we lose sight of whether or not it's good anymore. We become hyper aware of any and all flaws, word choices, awkward sentence structure, and we think that our readers can immediately spot those flaws and will point their fingers at us and say you did wrong, you need to fix this, how dare you show this to me with these errors still in the manuscript. But the truth is that most people will never notice these minor flaws, and they never would unless we pointed them out. Even though, your imposter syndrome and your insecurity might be running rampant when you hand someone over your document, this is the first step in destroying your insecurity, by refusing to give into it and by refusing to point out the flaws to people. Try to paint a new narrative. You are no longer an objective viewer of your writing, and you don't even know what wonders someone will feel when they're reading your book for the first time. You have to trust them, you have to trust yourself and the manuscript that you've put so much time and energy into. You have to trust that it's good, and that there are so many good things about it that you might not even have realized. There will be sentences in that book that you think are fine, that will change someone's whole worldview, that will stick with them for years, that will live in their brain rent-free. Sentence structure pieces that the reader will be able to forgive them or might not even notice them because they're just so engrossed in the world, the characters, the plot that you have worked so hard to build. They're not noticing all the little nitpicky things that your writer brain is noticing when you're reading the same words for the 5th time. We lose the magic of it. So we're always going to be our own harshest critics, and you have to trust your reader. Someone who really does not like your work and does find issues with it, well, they're not your audience. It's as simple as that. They are not your intended audience. If they find something fundamentally wrong with your book, whether it's your world, your writing style, your plot, your characters, something that you're very attached to, something that you thought was good, something that is like making you question everything, and should you edit the book for them? Should you tailor make it for them? No, girl. An ideal reader and an ideal audience for your book. No matter how weird it is, no matter how niche it is, no matter the types of themes or plot devices within it, it's just a matter of finding that audience. Because I assure you, they do exist. No matter how niche, no matter how weird, there is someone who has been dreaming that you will write that exact book. Someone who hopes that exact book exists. And if it's quote unquote common trope that you're using, like for a reason, people love those. It's not overdone in my opinion. I don't think something can ever be overdone because no two people will ever write the same thing the same way. And so if you are writing a classic trope, it's going to be washed out and overdone. There are readers who want more of that exact thing that have been like so many books they've read in the past and love. They want more of it, not less. So you're really giving them a gift. Appeal to everyone, because it is simply statistically impossible that everyone in the world will love your book. I'm sorry, it's just not true. You shouldn't try to make it true. You should write for yourself, and I'm a firm believer that the first draft should be written entirely for yourself without thinking of anyone else in mind. And then when you get to editing, if you're wanting to publish and make money off of it, you know, maybe edit a little bit for some marketability and audience, but you should never sacrifice your vision and what integrally makes you of this book, the author of this book, for like a shadowy critic that you have in your head that you think is never going to like the book unless you make it exactly for them. You shouldn't betray yourself and your vision that way. Your ideal audience does exist. It's just a matter of finding it. Just a few mindset tips that I have for fantasy writers who are maybe newer to writing or writing their first full novel or just dealing with some insecurity, some imposter syndrome. We all have it. It doesn't matter how many books an author has sold, how much of a following they have. I assure you, they deal with imposter syndrome, they deal with insecurity, or they have in the past and they found ways to, overcome it. Things like these mindset tips. If you want more mindset tips like this, if you want more writing advice on how to finish your first fantasy novel, how to actually get that idea that you've had in your head for 10 years on paper and turn it into a full novel of your dreams, go check out my course. I literally built a course exactly for this, and these mindset tips are just a little bit of what's included in the course. I want to set you up for success. I want to give you all the tools to help you achieve this goal. My bio, and if you buy the course, then you get free access to beta reading from me. So if you want some custom advice on what to improve, what's good, what needs some changes, then you can book me for free if you buy the course. I have written using this mindset, using all of these tips that I talk about in the course. You can go to my Linktree, which is in the description as well as the course. You can find The Night Auction, my newest release, which is a queer romantasy about a down on his luck mage who starts dating a rich lord for his money and oh no, ends up falling in love with him because he's hot, gentle, and kind. You can check out my website. If you have a book coming out within the next few months, you can book me to have an interview right here on this YouTube channel. All that is in the description. See you in next week's video. Goodbye.